Um, a lot of the times when we go around the world and we find challenges and we do go different cultures and we also have different vision in our life, and we kind of like get stuck of whether the thing that we're doing or not, it's right or not, something like that. So to give you a living example of that challenge and overcoming those challenges and going about life in a way that is unimaginable, and maybe all of us would like to go like that. So today I welcome you to the Student Entrepreneurs Playbook episode 3. Today I have an amazing guest with me. She is all the way from Turkey, now studying economics in Tsinghua University. She was also part of SGS cohort 1. She's an amazing entrepreneur, an amazing human being, and a really talented student who can speak 8+ languages, now on her ninth language journey. So let me welcome Zehra. Hello, Zehra. Welcome to Startup Go podcast.
Hello, thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so excited to be with you and talk to you and other friends today. And yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. I don't know what to add right now.
No, thanks goes to you for making time, because as a student, I know it's really tough to making a time for other things besides classes. So let me start with your journey so that our audience knows more about you. Can you share a bit about your journey coming to China, and why did you choose to come to China? And one more thing to mention here, that you have, I think, over 100,000 followers across different platforms. So how that thing worked and your motivation to come all the way here and studying in one of the top universities in the world.
hmm So about China, I really loved China since I was around 14 or 15. And the love started from my sister because she used to study at China too, and she does right now too. So we also really wanted to live together in the same country, the same city, because we have a pretty good relationships together, my sister and I. So that was when I was around like 14 or 15 when I decided to come to China. And that was when I started self studying Chinese. So I can really say that the time that I realized that I wanted to come to China was actually the time that I took my life way more seriously. So I realized my path, my goals, where I want to go. So I can say that that was a pretty turning point in my life, I can tell. So afterwards, after self-studying Chinese for a couple of years and getting a scholarship to study a language year here, I could successfully come to my dream university. So also, along with my obsession to China and the Chinese culture, I really loved Tsinghua University, and that was because a friend of us studied here. So she used to tell a lot about Tsinghua. So that was when I decided to come here, and I'm currently studying economics and finance. I'm a freshman student at Tsinghua University, studying my major in Chinese. So that's about
Mhm.
China and about my social media journey and my Instagram, YouTube. So because I love languages and language learning, I used Instagram and YouTube as a way to motivate myself to learn languages. So I used to be pretty lonely during my language learning journey because around me it was only my sister who used to study a lot of languages. None of my friends were polyglots. My school, nowhere, nobody was that interested and had that many big goals about languages. So I used this platform to create a very small community around me where I can find people who have the same interests as mine. So that was how the small community became bigger, bigger, bigger. And right now we're like this together. And I'm very happy that I used that opportunity a few years ago to motivate myself. And along with that, I could motivate a lot of people through their journey to learn languages and even to come to China, pursue their degree at their dream university. So that was the goal.
Awesome. I mean, to be honest, when I was starting my Chinese language journey here in my university, even though our whole curriculum is in English, but we need to take Chinese classes. So I was so demotivated to learn because it was like really hard for me. But also, and I followed you on Instagram and I know you personally, so I saw a lot of your videos starting from your really early age. So that also motivated me that you learned like 8 languages, and why can't I even learn one language? So yeah, that was really inspiring
Yeah.
from your side. So yeah, tell me a
Mhm.
little bit more about like obviously you started this language learning journey, but how did it reach up to like 8 languages now, and obviously in different levels? So what motivated you to pursue one languages after another, and currently you are trying to pursue one more again?
Yeah. So I was not really planning to become a polyglot. That was never the plan. But life took me in this way. But when I was a kid, I can say I was forced to study Arabic, English, and French at the same time. I was around like 7 or 6, yeah. So I did not really like language learning, but it was something that my parents chose for me to do. And that's because even they are very interested in language learning and they know a couple of languages. So that was something they decided for me. And I can say that their first 7 years, like until I turned 13 or 12, I hated language learning, and I was like, why aren't you guys putting me in such a bad situation that like I used to go to classes, not like them, a lot of things. And I remember in my French class, my classmates were like 54 years old, like
My
they were
God.
like PhD students being classmates with a 9-year-old kid, because like my French was pretty good, my English, my Arabic, so like it was very not fun for me to learn all these languages. But then when I turned 14, I can really say that I got 100% inspiration from my sister. And I'm sure that if it was not her, I could have never learned the languages, like definitely. So it was her who continued learning more languages. And then I saw her, I saw the opportunities that she got. I saw how language learning could help her in her life. And that was how I decided to learn more languages. I added Spanish. Persian is my mother tongue, so I also started Turkish. Was my mother tongue, is my mother tongue. And then I started Turkish, Spanish, Portuguese, and because of Tsinghua, I started Chinese, and soon will start my Russian. And that's because even though in China right now, like 95% of my friends are Russians. I barely have any Chinese friends at Tsinghua. Like I'm always hanging out with Russians, so I'm very happy that they could inspire me, they could motivate me to learn Russian. Yeah.
That's awesome. And the one more thing here to mention is that uh even though you started really early and you had that environment, your parents, but without self-motivation, I don't think it's possible to learn like 8 languages. So yeah, really, really amazing story for that. But so let's move on to that your university journey. So I know
Mhm.
also some people always ask you in social media that, hey, how did you get into Tsinghua, and how did you do all of these things, and what's the process like? So if you could briefly talk a little bit, because I can tell probably some of the students who are now maybe in different part of the world, they might get some help from your journey on how did you finally decide to come here and studying in a different language, especially in Chinese. It's like I can't even imagine. So how did you take that step, and what was the process like?
So for me personally, I never really believe in university degrees. Like I never really liked how the world works in this way, that you have to do bachelor's, master's, PhD, and then you're gonna have a good level prestigious in the world. And I don't really like this. I never
Yeah.
liked. And even when I was a high school student, even though my GPA was pretty good, but I used to always try to run away from anything related to school, because I was like, I can learn these in like 2 months. Why am I supposed to go 1 year to school,
Yeah.
go come back, and after like 8 hours of classes, I feel like I learned nothing. So that was something that I felt very bad about, and that was my biggest concern, that this should not work like this. So I decided to search about first good schools, which is Tsinghua, is the best university of Asia first. And second, I decided to pursue my degree in another language so that I can graduate plus having something very good out of it, which is a good level in Chinese. I can never have a very good professional or let's say academic Chinese, just with studying the HSK books. When I'm already
Yep.
done with my HSK 5, I'm in the middle of HSK 6, and I still, like, even with this level, a lot of times I don't even understand the class. So this level is not going to help me in my life. So that was one of my biggest goals, to just do my degree, and along with that, I improve my language. So that was why I decided to study in Chinese. But a lot of times I do regret that as well, because I work like 3 times more than anyone else, especially the majority of the international students here have Chinese as their mother tongue. So it's like only me and a few more people as freshman students who have been studying Chinese for like a couple of years. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I can tell how tough it can be. So, so that was the a part of where I think you took the challenge on yourself. I mean, it's not a lot of people will take that challenge. But so you at that time, I guess you were in Turkey, and then how did you like do all the process? Like, was it all everything online, or did you have to reach out to someone? Did you have to get help from someone, or you did it all by yourself, or there was any help? Obviously, your sister was in China, I think, at that time. So how that process worked, and if someone wants to also pursue the same journey, what would be your recommendation?
So I came to China last year for a language year. So I did the application when I was in China. I was with my sister here. I decided to do a language year because I felt like my Chinese was not enough. So afterwards, I started my application. For me personally, the application process was very complicated because I could not find a proper steps to that. That's why I came all the way to Tsinghua like 4 times to realize what I was supposed to do. So I did not have a very good experience applying to Tsinghua. It was pretty difficult. I don't know about others, probably that was my problem, but I came to Tsinghua a couple of times. I made friends with some people online, and then they helped me through the application process. So the application was not very complicated as it was for me. So basically, like, you just apply your materials, your HSK, if you have APs, SATs, and then a 3 minutes video I made talk about my goals. And then what else? After like probably 3 weeks, I got the results, and I realized that I had an interview. And then the
Mhm.
interview was pretty long. I was like there from 9 a.m. and then came back at 5. So my interview was literally at like 4. There were a lot of people there. So yeah, and the interview was in Chinese, and then we had a written test too, which was also in Chinese. And then after a couple of weeks, we got the results.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like very fulfilling journey. And I think also Mahaya, she has this kind of built a community as well to help the students
Mhm.
to pursue their journey in China as well. So yeah, shout out to Mahaya as well. So if anyone wants, I'll put the link down below. You guys can always try to reach out to these amazing people. So, so yeah, let's move on to a little bit of more your experience when you first came to China. I think I think somehow you got to know about our program, like Startup Go Academy at that time. I think at that time you were not um uh, a part of Tsinghua, like you got accepted, but you didn't start your school. So it was like in between. So we would like to a little bit more about I'd like to know more about that thing. So how did you first like hear about that program Startup Go? Because you two sister together joined, and when we saw your last name, both of you, it was like, okay, are they sisters? But their country is like two different things. So yeah, we were confused. But yeah, share a little bit more about that experience at the very beginning.
Yeah, so about how I got to know about this cohort, my sister introduced it to me. So like we have a group chat on on WeChat. It's me, my sister, and my father, and then we send like opportunities to each other. So every day we send anything we find, and that was something my sister just sent. And then I saw, I was like, that's very interesting. Why don't you want to like take part in it? She was like, I don't know, anything for free is a scam. I was like, you're right. And then a
Yeah.
few days after that, I was like, you know, they're not gonna steal our money. They're not gonna do anything. Let's just go. It's for free. And I was like, okay. But it was way, way different than our expectation. And it was actually one of the best experiences we both had during the summer, coming to this cohort, getting to know you guys, the people, the amazing students, and the amazing entrepreneurs. So it was an amazing journey.
Yeah. So can you
Definitely
walk
not a
us through
scam.
like yeah, I think that is one of the misconceptions we always have. Like, I mean, it's true also in some ways that whenever there's like some free stuff, it's not really free in some ways. But basically, we had a really good backing who were supporting us financially, and that's why we could do it in a non-profit way. Maybe later in future it's gonna be not really for profit, but in a different model. Probably if we help founders, probably kind of turn it into a venture capital firm. But for now, we are still this year. We're also gonna try to do it in a different way. And I think you guys gave us a really interesting idea last year. Like you guys said, okay, if it's free, then it might be scam. So we were thinking, what if we kind of like take like a deposit? Like if you are willing to join and if you want to commit, then you pay certain amount of money to us, and if you after you complete the course you get the money back, but if you don't complete the thing
Oh,
then you don't get your money back. So
that's
that
smart.
so that can be another option, because otherwise people might think, oh, it's free, it might not be that kind
Yeah.
of quality. So yeah, and thank you for the idea as well. So yeah, can you can you walk us through like a little bit of your experience, because we had like 8 weeks and we had classes only on Saturday, and I think I saw you guys always biking to our office and joining the classes. So yeah, if you could share a little bit more details on that, and how did it shape your idea about like entrepreneurship and about this field?
Mhm. So because of my major, I'm doing economics and finance, and my sister studies business management. We're both so much interested in this topic and like entrepreneurship. And basically, one of my goals is to become a successful entrepreneur. So this is what I have always been trying to work on and learn about, but I did not really have a lot of opportunities because most of the classes that are about entrepreneurship are expected for you to be, I don't know, rich or to become rich. So they're very expensive. They're super expensive. So I've been searching a lot about these, but I could not really find a lot. So right now that I could find, I actually realized that it could really open my eyes to how entrepreneurship is. I feel like the 8 weeks was actually very, very enough and very even a lot of time for us to learn about it, because you cannot learn good about something just for in like one session or one conference or one speech. So like these 8 weeks with homework, with good book recommendations were actually so good. I have actually learned a lot of things outside the class. I started reading some of those books, um, and I really loved them. So I can really say that those 8 weeks changed my perspective to how entrepreneurship is and how it works. And I will definitely implement it in my life.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, now you're a student in Tsinghua, and I think around that area there will be some amazing people as well. And I think that it's gonna be a really amazing journey if you've already decided to pursue that path. And so like so also in the part of the course we had, so obviously Kohan, he has been the mentor, and I think probably you guys also had sometimes like the mentorship session, like 20-minute session with him. So. What did you guys talk about, and could you get any insights from him that kind of like shaped you the way you thought about the thing that you're gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, during the class, a lot of questions came to my mind. A lot of, even during that 8 weeks, a lot of business ideas came to my mind. So anytime I had something in my mind, I just tried to share with him. And I got very good insights. Some of my ideas were not so good. So I was very happy that I could know about them very early, because you're sometimes working so hard for something to make it successful without actually knowing that that's the wrong path. and you put a lot of, like, I've been doing this, that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes I was in my brain, and even like actually I was working on some businesses that I was so confident on, and then when I talked to an experienced person, I realized that no, this is wrong from the root. So I was very happy that I could share all of these things from the start, from the beginning, so that I can start my way through this journey in a right way, basically.
Yeah. I mean, awesome. We have seen you guys grow up. I mean, Khan himself, he mentioned when you guys first came in, because you would see a lot of students are from different backgrounds. Some of them are already studying like computer science and tech, but also some of them are also studying finance. So like kind of like shaping that kind of cohort where you, from different background, from because you have different ideas about, and I think at that time there was a Maha had idea about like creating a language learning startup, and I think later on, I still stayed in touch with her, and I saw like how she's still working on that thing. So yeah, it's been an amazing it's been amazing to see you guys grow from there on, and now pursuing your own degrees, and beside that, thinking about being a future founder. So last question about this whole thing, about could you share like a memorable moment or like challenge from this whole SGA journey, and also what would you recommend for the future cohort as an alumni?
Challenge. I can say that it was a very unique experience. I cannot really say challenges, but for me, it was a unique experience. It was not something that I could experience in school right now. I mean, thank God, Tsinghua has a lot of opportunities, like for entrepreneurship, for all this. I go to all those classes, but I really liked how it was very short, but including everything, saying everything, probably something that even at university is going to take you probably one whole year or 2 semesters to learn. So this is what I really liked about. And about challenges, I can probably say that I was on my in my previous university. I was in UIB that time for my languager, and it was like 1 hour and 30 minutes away from UIB. So that was a big challenge for me to come every time, because I was never coming to Haidian, like this place that
Yeah.
we had the classes. But for that time, every Saturday, I was waking up early, 1 hour and 30 minutes going and coming back. So that was a
Wow.
challenge that
I to be
probably,
honest, I didn't know that, like that you guys
yeah.
were coming all the way. Oh my God, that's impressive. Like you guys came
I
all
mean,
the way to just join the classes.
if,
So
if you waited until I get into Tsinghua, I could have come like 5 minutes, and then I would have been
yeah,
place
yeah,
of
it's just
like
5 minutes away from
passing that place
office.
every day.
Yeah. So what would be your recommendation for the future cohort? How should they go about this whole? Because I think this year it might be 10
Mm.
weeks because we're expanding a little bit more, including some
Ah.
more activities to give them more resources. So uh like what would be your general recommendation or some insights that they can take away from you?
Actually, a lot of my friends have been texting me recently about this cohort, because they saw like the tweet song, the uh, basically, yeah. And they were asking me a lot, like, how is it? Do you like it and everything? And I was like, yeah, sure, you guys go for it. Like, it's very fun. Like, you guys can meet a lot of friends and everything. My recommendation for this is probably just what you just mentioned, to put a deposit, because it's a pretty new idea. I really find it interesting because, you know, another thing about something being free is that, which this did not happen for our cohort, but for other things, when something is free, people are going to come and then quit. But for us,
Mm,
something very interesting is that all those people came until the last day. Like, they all found it very good
yeah,
and interesting. But for other things, people come and then quit. But for this, it's going to be actually a bigger motivation for them to actually continue. And because they know that they paid something, they're going to work harder for it, even though if it's
yeah,
that's a deposit.
yeah,
So I really like this idea, and I really recommend you to do it, and probably put something online too. Why should it
yeah,
always be like in real person? You know, a lot of people really love
sure.
to take this opportunity, I mean, Beijing is very big. People might live like not 1 hour and 30 minutes away, probably 3 hours away, or other cities
Yeah.
or even other countries, and they would like to learn more about it. So we can let more people get engaged with this
Mm.
and learn about it.
Yeah, I mean that's the one that thing we're working on still, how we can expand and let more people take this opportunity. And yeah, you also gave some good ideas, and yeah, I hope people can also get amazing insights from it. So let's just move from there to your own personal interests and your motivation of like outside of academics, like what are the like, personal interests or hobbies that you are currently doing or really passionate about?
So about my hobbies, I can say my biggest hobby is obvious, is language learning. It's something that
Yeah.
I do when I'm tired, when I'm on a rest, when I'm mad. Like language learning has always been something like a cure to a lot of my problems, I can say. That might sound a little bit weird, but that's how I really find enjoyment. And I'm very happy that find enjoyment in such a good thing because it could help me grow a lot. So I can say studying languages. And about my other hobbies, something that I'm very grateful about is that at Tsinghua, we're not only focusing on academics at all. And one important thing is that it helped me so much to actually grow my other hobbies that I never cared about. Like, we have the most random clubs here, the most random clubs, which is very nice. So these are that I'm talking about are not random clubs, they're pretty good. Like chess. I love chess. I've been playing it since I was a
Mm.
kid. But I quitted it during my high school, so this is one of my biggest hobbies, and I can say it's the only sports I'm good at.
Yeah,
And
Cinco
yeah,
plays
I
a lot of
consider it a
sports.
sport.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, I mean, like in universities like Tsinghua, Peking, like they're so enthusiastic with sports, and I think it's part of the curriculum as well that everyone will have to take these sports classes. And I mean, I have been there as well, and I've seen every time. It doesn't matter if it's like early morning or late night. There's someone always in the court in the gym like doing workouts. So yeah, but
Yeah,
I think it doesn't matter if you are good at physical activity or mental activity. I think chess is a really really good sport. I wish I could also
yeah,
play that well. I mean, I'm not really good at session. Maybe in future we can join in and get beaten by you.
yeah. Why
Yeah.
not?
Okay.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's all right. So so who are your like role models in this world currently? Probably it can be in tech, in business, or in any other industry who you sometimes look up to or some or motivated you in the past.
To be honest, I was thinking about this question a lot for the past few years because I feel like I never had a role model. And I don't know
Mm,
if that's a good thing or not. Uh, I can say my only role model right now is my sister, and she has
yeah.
always been, because in language learning and like as a polyglot, I feel like the only person I can look at right now is my sister because she knows more languages than me. So because language learning and becoming a polyglot and basically making all my languages like C1, C2 is something that it's difficult for me to find like people who have the same goals, something. So my sister, but in other things, I'm trying to learn from other people, especially at my university. Like, I really appreciate a lot of my professors. And I always
Mm.
like talk to them. I learn from them because they're actually, for me, they're very respected. And I want to be like them too in my field in economics and finance. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, talking about you and your sister's relationship, I don't think I have seen that kind of close relationships in my life between, because I also have my brothers. I don't think I'm that close to my brothers as well, but you guys are always your motivator, your role models, and you guys also create content together, travel together. Yeah, it's such an amazing thing to see, and I'm really happy for you guys. And there are also a lot of, I hope, lot more siblings are like that in this world. um
Yeah.
so one thing, now that you're in Tsinghua, it's a really challenging university because people, all the top students from China and also across the world, they are coming here. So how do you stay motivated during challenging times while like managing academics and other works? You also do upload your videos and go travel to different countries, do conferences. So how do you manage all those things and deal with the challenges?
Motivated to study languages and create content and basically do things outside school, like school work.
Yeah, I mean, like
So these are
managing all of
my
those things together, because you also, because man, your academic is the main thing. So beside that,
yeah.
how do you kind of manage all those challenges beside it?
So these are my passions. So I cannot really say I'm doing this to get motivated. These are something that just some things that come because I love them, and I cannot imagine a day not studying languages, or I cannot imagine just not posting things because I love posting. And when I see other people's comments, messages, that really motivates me a lot to see somebody who's learned many languages because of me. That even makes me be more sure about my own path. So I don't really need something to motivate me to do that. Probably if you ask me how you get motivated to study for school, I can give you many reasons because sometimes I don't think anybody would really be happy with studying very difficult subjects in Chinese. So
True.
that needs motivation. But the other things are just my hobbies, my passions, and I would do them no matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a really important thing. I mean, the other day I was also in a conference and people were asking like, how do you manage and how it is to motivate? I'm like, you don't even have to try to manage. If you have the passion for it and if you like the thing that you're doing, it's gonna be managed automatically and you're gonna enjoy the day. And mostly, I think what we struggle with is like being motivated for the academics, because it's like in a set of curriculum that you have to follow. As you mentioned before, that you never believed in the system of like going to school and then colleges, masters, PhDs. So yeah, I can understand that point of view as well. So what's a book or like a resource that has significantly influenced your entrepreneurial journey or overall your journey so far?
Actually, I'm mostly a podcast person than books. So I have like listening to podcasts as my daily habits because I'm usually like only sitting if I have like a big homework to do or languages to study. But in the other times of the day, I basically like when I go to the gym, when I'm walking to this place or other, I always listen to podcasts. But if I want to say talk about one of my favorite books, I can say the Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Wow. Yeah.
I read it in three languages. The first time I read it in Arabic, and then I read it in English, and then I read it in Spanish. And
No.
I'm planning to learn it, study it in
In Chinese?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, probably. Because I think it's going to be pretty easy for me because the content is something that we already study in Chinese. So it won't be a
Yeah,
big
I
deal.
think that is one of the most influential books that also changed me. Like when I was in my ninth grade, so I was watching this kind of videos online, and then this kind of thing popped up where people were talking about this book, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I ordered it online, and I read it at first in my own language, in Bengali, and that thing changed, though, I think my whole trajectory of how I think about my future career and what I want to be, because I got to see like the real reason behind why there are different levels in the society, why some people are poor, why some people are not, and how do they think about these things. And there's stock market and managing finance. So that opened a like whole new door for me. and then motivated to buy more books related to that thing and go for this entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, I mean, I'm really grateful for that thing, and to Robert Kiyosaki who wrote the book, and to the YouTube algorithm who recommended the book as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would highly recommend for other people who are also getting into entrepreneurship to at first read the book, because it's not only going to change the way you do work, but also the mindset, which is really important for this whole journey. So we're kind of like nearly close to closing this whole podcast, but before we go on, we would like to get some of your advices for people and audience who are listening. So what advice would you give to like students or in general who are interested in entrepreneurship but unsure of taking the leap, or who are interested in taking on any challenge? Because I know your journey personally, and I would suggest people to go to your YouTube channel or your Instagram to look into your journey, which is really motivating. So, what advice would you give to these people to get into this entrepreneurship area, or in general in life?
I can say an advice that I learned from the cohort, that the earlier you start, the better. Why? Because right now, as teenagers or as young people, we can take more risks. And no matter how many times we fail, we would still stand up and continue. Because at some point, we don't have a lot of things to lose because we're still young, we still have a lot of time, and we're still doing all these things to learn at the first place. So, this is the first goal. So, what I recommend is that no matter how old you are, just do what you think is right, no matter if you're fail or not, because any successful business, any successful entrepreneurship journey has a lot of failure. And no matter what happens, you should stand up again and continue. So, another recommendation is that still, if you don't have a business idea, you don't know what to do, but you want to do it at a certain point, what I recommend you the most to do is to grow your social media, because no matter what, at the end of the day, this is the social media that will help you grow your business. And at first, don't look at it as a way to earn money. I do not earn, I've been on Instagram for a very long time, but I still do not earn money. And this is not my goal right now. I just do it because I love helping people and I love helping myself to grow in this journey. So this is very important, to grow your social media, to find your own people, and then in the future you can probably turn it into a business or help your business grow through social media.
Awesome. I think you touched upon some key points on like about failure, because I think when you joined cohort at that time you were like 18 or 19, and now you're in university. So this whole thing, I think a lot of the times when we are in university or in high school, we think about whether we're gonna be successful or not, rather than thinking about, okay, this is the place where I can do experimentation, because the university undergraduate is not a place that if you get a degree, then you're going to be expert in something. That for being expert, we have PhD and all of the other things. So this is a really important thing that I saw some of my peers as well were like
Mhm.
only focusing on academics and not really using the time to experiment like what life has to offer. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really glad that you also took that path, and I hope more and more people can take that path, because also you're doing academics, you're studying in a really prestigious university, but beside that, having that mindset can sometimes set things apart, and help us to achieve the goal in the long term. So I want to ask a question, because you also mentioned that in future, obviously, you would want to be an entrepreneur, and I can see the obviously the potential, and also Kahan told me, yeah, he can see that too. But so, how was your perception of entrepreneurship, and did your parents or your background kind of somehow motivated you, or it was you who kind of like took this leap of faith, or how did your perception of this entrepreneurship area change since starting your journey?
Hmm. So about the background, I do not have that background, and that's the reason why I decided to become an entrepreneur, because when I saw people around me, family members, friends, that how terrible 9 to 5 life is, I realized to take a more terrible path to make it 24/7. So
That's a really
that's the
interesting thing that you
thing.
mentioned. Oh my God.
But jokes aside, I really uh, believe that it's better for me to work for myself than other people. To If I'm putting that much time, that much energy, if I'm gonna work 5 hours for another person, I can work 10 hours for myself to reach my own goals, do what makes me happy, and put the impact that I want to put on people or on the world. So I'm not saying that 9 to 5 jobs are bad. You're still putting an impact, you're still changing something, which is good. But for me, I did not find this something that I find joy in, even though I'm still thinking a lot about what I'm actually going to work on in the future. Even the startup idea, or even the ones that I'm working on right now, are going well. I still know that in the future, I want to work on a newer work, or enter a new area. So what I'm still sure about is that I will definitely work on something that first will make me happy and will help others grow in their work, in their area, in their knowledge, or anything. So this is what
Yeah.
entrepreneurship taught me, to put the impact by myself and bring it and create it.
Yeah, that's such amazing thing that you mentioned, that doing something that you love or you that makes you happy, and also that impacts other people. I think you're already doing an amazing job on that, and also I hope it's gonna turn out to be great as well. So I think growing up, you also shared a lot of story in your social media. So can you share like a failure, a setback that you have experienced and learned from it that helped you to grow who you are today?
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, maybe when you were back home, and from there to coming to this point, what is the one key challenge that you had to overcome to kind of like broaden your perspective of this world and take on this journey? Because a journey as an international student in obviously in China, it's not that really easy journey to take on. So, was there any setback where you felt like maybe this is not the path for me, but you kind of like walked away through that thing and you kind of like now where you are?
Probably this is something that I think about almost every day, because the path that I'm taking is something that is not easy and not a lot of people would want to take. One of it is just study my major in Chinese and at a very difficult university. Every day when I wake up, I'm like, was this what you wanted to do? Was this what you were crying for? For the past, like begging God for this? But when I think about it, I realized that in order for you to become successful, or to become a unique person in your job and knowledge, anything, you should take a different path, a path that not many people would like to take. So if everybody is going here, you go here. If everybody is spending their Friday night going out with friends, having fun, that night you spend and study. If
Mm,
everybody is just going to a university, doing their degree in English, and then just easy peasy, you do it in something more difficult. Or if everybody is sleeping until, let's say, 9, 10, you wake up at 5, and
yeah.
before the class you study languages. So get out of your comfort zone, which this is something that will take a person a very long time to actually get used to it. Getting out of your comfort zone is not something easy, but it's definitely something that will make you different than others.
Yeah.
And that's the step to become successful in any field.
Yeah, completely agree on that. And my last question on this thing about, like, you're a student and there are a lot of students who are our audience. So how do you think your age and the student status have been like advantages or challenging in your entrepreneurial journey, or overall, whether you want to do something by your own, what kind of thing that you need to face, or advantage that you get from it?
Because of my age.
Your age and obviously student status, because a lot of the times when you're a student, oh, you're a student, how can you take on this big thing? There's a perception like that. So how does that give you advantage or disadvantage?
Hmm. So, because of my not very young, well, like still young age,
Yeah.
I think for us it's very normal to do mistakes. And when we do even big mistakes, we're not gonna get very, very terrible results, or we're not gonna get like a PPM. Uh, how to say in English? We're not gonna get PPM,
Yeah.
subtitle.
Yeah.
Not for what we basically did. Why? Because we don't have a lot of experiences and we can do a lot of mistakes. But if we do the same thing when we're like 30 or 40, when we're having family, when we're this is our job and everything, it's going to be very bad. It's going to have a lot of consequences. So what's good right now about this age is that you're not going to have a lot of big or very terrible consequences, and that's why this is the best time for a person to try things, to try even if there is 90% chance for that thing to go terrible, but then there's 10% that is going to change your life. So also along with that, as young people, we can see the future. We can see other people, how everybody has been going through your goal, your journey, and reached of what you want to reach. So what is very good about it is that we're now having the opportunity to learn from others. So as university students, a student, I always go to these office hours of my teachers, professors, not because I have questions about like accounting, because I want to know how did my professor do this, because the majority of our professors here do have very successful businesses. So I go to office hours to ask about these. So learning from experienced people is the best thing that we can actually do and earn right now as young people.
Yeah, that's I think that's an eye-opening message to all of us who are out there. And it's such a great thing to hear from you as well, who have been through this whole journey so far. And there's a lot to gain in the future as well. So talking about the future, so where do you see yourself in the future? Or if I would like to say, if there's only one thing that you could achieve in your life, what would be?
Just like how I did not know how where I am right now the past few years, I can really say nothing about my future because at this point I feel like every month right now is different than the months before. Every month I have many new ideas and I do change a lot. I feel like I have changed a lot. Like I'm a whole new person than who I was during my high school or even last year. So for me, I cannot really say something for sure about the future, but what I know, what makes me happy is to just continue what I am doing right now. So just helping people in their studies, their language learning journey, their goals, and when I get like a huge sense of fulfillment doing this. Even though right now I'm just still a student, this is not my job, but I'm thinking of continuing this because for me, happiness in job is the most important thing. So what I am looking forward to do is anything related to education, studies, probably an institute, I don't know, but something that brings knowledge to people, and that knowledge will definitely also bring happiness and the a feeling of self-fulfillmentness for even other people.
Yeah. I think you mentioned a really, really important thing about identity, because most of the time, what we focus on is that what we want to achieve monetarily, or what people are going to think if I achieve this thing, if I get this job, if I go to this university. But it's not about what you achieve materialistically, but what you become in that process, the identity. And you mentioned you're changing every month, every year. So I think that's the growth that we would like to have, because when we are at the deathbed, we're not going to take all the materialistic thing. We are taking our own identity, and we're leaving that legacy behind. So it's a really interesting insight that you mentioned. So last thing that I would like to pass on to our audience is that I know that you and Mahaya, you guys every year arrange like a polyglot conference. So if you would like to share a bit more about that, and how you guys are giving that opportunity to more and more people, and when it's going to be, or in every year, do you have any specific dates that you would like to share? Then that would, I think, also help some people out there.
Yeah, so during the COVID was when I took language learning way more seriously. So it was probably 2020 or 2021. And that was when I got to know the Polyglot Conference Global, which is organized by Mr. Richard Simcott. He's the polyglot with the most number of languages in the world. He knows around 50 languages, and he is my role
Ooh.
model. And it was an honor for me to get to know him. So I used to go to his conferences online. I even delivered speeches there as a polyglot. And that was the idea that came to our mind, my sister and I, to continue this, but as a language conference. So we continued it. We have been holding it online for around online and in person for around 6 times. We held it online in real person in year one this year, and last year in China, the year before in Turkey. We're just going different places, and hopefully we're going to bring it to Tsinghua as well. So
Mm.
because as polyglots, we don't have a lot of opportunities to be in an environment with people who share the same interests as ours. We really wanted to create this community where we do find polyglots or language enthusiasts to get together and learn more from each other. Also, a very sad thing about like being polyglot or language learner is that we don't have like official, let's say, competitions or some very exciting things, and it's just like you study language or you get a language certificate. We don't have like Olympiad or some cool things in it. I really wanted to bring it more so that more people can learn about it. And even the term polyglot, now a lot of people don't even know what it means. So we just want to make more people get interested and along with it, turn into a polyglot.
That's that's an amazing goal, and I know it's gonna help a lot of people as well. Especially if I were there, I mean, and I would definitely take the opportunity as well. So
Yeah.
now we're kind of like at the end. I mean, we I've kind of like covered the things that we could in a very short period of time. There are a lot of things to learn as well. So at the end, if you would like to give a closing remark to our audience, your about your personal opinions, your vision, or the thing that you would like to know more and more people. So yeah, just go for it.
Um, I think I talked about most of the things that I would like to mention. Just thanking you again, thanking Mr. Kahan for all these opportunities, and most importantly, making us get to know amazing people. I still have very, very good friendship with a lot of my classmates there, and I'm very happy to have this opportunity to meet people with very big goals and goals or paths that I have as well. So for anybody out here, if you're interested in anything about entrepreneurship, about language learning, anything, try to find all these communities, because if you just sit here in your school or university and if you have big ideas, you'll always be alone. You will never have somebody who follows you during your journey, your path, and helps you or inspires you. So you should create it by yourself. You should try to find opportunities where people gather together and inspire each other, because I believe life is too short not to spend it with good people. So take it. And thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. And thanks to our audience for listening. And I hope you get value from Jahra's amazing journey so far. And also in future, I hope you guys will be with us. And hopefully we'll bring another amazing guest in future. But for now, it's been an amazing 1 hour to talk with you, Zahra. And I got a lot of insights as well, because we didn't really get that amount of time at that in Beijing, even though we talked a lot of entrepreneurship. But today we kind of like covered your entrepreneurship, your own journey. And I'm also looking forward to your journey ahead, in social media, in real life. And hopefully in person, we will see again. And maybe more and more people would be able to connect with you and learn from you and go ahead in future with more motivation and with the drive that you have, with the tenacity that you have. So yeah, thank you again for joining, and thanks to the audience for joining us in the third episode. We will see you again in our fourth episode.